to begin with the welcome tutorial? I'm gonna say never. Okay, so basically now when we get into the game, it looks like there's a few different new things that are actually here. I don't know exactly what this ladder is really for just yet, but we're gonna check that out here shortly. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause the game here, and that's pretty crucial for when you actually want to go into your build mode. And basically now it looks like there's a bunch of new things that they've actually added since I've played last. So it definitely looks like they have different types of walls that you can actually put up, fences, you have elevators, stairs, standard door, sliding glass door, double doors, some double glass doors, and different types of windows, and then you have an arched gate, interesting, and then an open gate. And let's see what else we got here. So that's the doors. Let's see what kind of furniture they got. Now they look like they've actually added a search tool here, so that way you can search for exactly what you're looking for. Looks like we have AC units, central heating and such, outdoor lamps, interesting, cubicle walls, so now you can actually make cubicle sections for people. Looks like we have maybe a new server rack, maybe not, possibly. Yeah, there's a new server part right there, medium servers. Now we have stoves so people can actually cook their food here at work. And of course you have these. You have a new water cooler. That's pretty interesting. And a Halo computer. Looks like there's a new bench. And that's about it. I do know that there's new tables here, the 2mm end tables and the 3mm end tables. Okay, let's see for roads. Roads are the same. You get the clone tool and then blueprints. Now these blueprints here I do normally have, but I'm not going to use that blueprint. So let's go ahead and get right into this, and let's start building our first building, or basically our first work area. So basically I'm going to try to keep it nice and fluent here, because it's just going to be ourselves. We're not going to have any employees just yet. So I'm going to add a door. Okay, a door there. So now something that I definitely want to do here is add the window there, and I think I want to add a window here. Okay. Now for furniture wise, we definitely know that I'm going to need a table. Okay. There's my table. I'm going to need a chair. My chair and this back in 1980s computer. Okay. So there's that. We're going to need some heating and some AC. Okay. Now a few other things I'm going to add in is another table here with an espresso machine. There we go. So that way I can drink my coffee when I actually get into work. And that looks, let's add a clock here, because I know I like to see what time it is when I'm working. For sure, there's that. And let's see here. Go ahead and get a plant. There we go. Just because it kind of spruces up, or spruces up the room a little bit. Let's go ahead and get a nice little picture there. Okay. That looks like it's going to be pretty good here. So let's go ahead and get out of build mode. So the very first thing that we're going to look at is what kind of software is actually out there. Okay, we don't have anything. We're going to look at software, all softwares here. because basically what this is going to do is that it's going to show us what different varieties of software out there, how good they are by their quality. Okay, you have some that are outstanding, which you have a game that was outstanding, an operating system, 2D editor, another operating system, game engine, and so on and so on. And then basically what you want to do is you also want to look at the active users. Okay, and it doesn't look like anything's really had any marketing going on and whatnot. So when we actually look at this for active users, we know that there's a CMS out there that was great with 609,254 active users. We know that there's 2 operating systems that came out that were great with almost 1 million active users. One was for the console, one was for the computer, and then we have an RTS game that had 1.3 million. So I think the first thing that we're going to want to do here is now look at the upcoming releases. Okay, so in the upcoming releases, what this basically shows you is the upcoming releases, everything that's going to be released and their dates. Okay, so right now we have 2 game engines, 2 CMSs, a 2D editor, a game and audio tool, and another game basically going to be coming out. So now we're going to keep this tab open, and then we're going to look at what kind of software that we can develop that somebody else isn't developing and possibly have it out this year. So we know they have no operating systems coming out. We know that they have 2D editors, an audio tool, 2 game engines, a game, but they don't have any office software. Okay, so I think something that we may look at is some office software, because the next office software is actually going to come out in 1981. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and click all this here, and then we're going to see what it actually tells us that it's going, how long it's going to take for us to be able to use that. Okay, so we added that. So now it says if we add everything that's on here, it's going to take us approximately 3 years. Okay, now it says for this one here the category is default, which means that basically it's not based off of in-house or that it doesn't have a sequel to it. So it's a brand new system that's coming out. Now something that we can do though is this. Okay, we can have that word processor, the auto layout, and that. Let's see. Recommended designers 2, 4. Actually, we're not going to do that. So we're going to look at what's basic. This is basically everything that's coming out this year. Let's look what's coming out next year. Okay, so we have a game, another game, an office software, operating system, CMS, operating system, office software, game engine, and whatnot. So it looks like there's 2 games. Definitely looks like everything's actually going to be pretty set. Something that's scheduled for the following year is a game, operating system, another game. So it definitely looks like in 1983, what's going to have to need to come out is an audio tool. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to make a 2D editor for ourselves. Okay. It's going to be on the core team, which is me. Now we're going to give ourselves our name. Okay. Now the name that we're actually going to call this thing is Fuse. Okay, category is still going to be default. It's going to have the original IP. Actually refers to a lot of the things that we use on a different basis, meaning that we're going to use it for our own personal aspects. So operating system, we're going to look here and we're going to go with the most current. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and develop that. You can't afford, really. Let's go ahead and add, we're going to remove the Tiger X then. For now. So then we're going to go ahead and develop this. Sure, we'll go ahead and do that now. So we're gonna go with a newspapers. No, we're not. We're gonna go with radio. We're gonna go with interwebs. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and minimize this, move that tab, and then we're gonna go ahead and speed up the day. So there I am working my butt off to make the software. Now a few things that you guys definitely want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that this bar gets all the way complete before you actually go to the next stage. And the reason why I'm saying that is because let's say right now I can go ahead and develop this, but the expected quality on the design is going to be horrible. And that's not going to do very well when you actually release the game or release anything that you're doing at the end of the day. So it does look like we have a business reputation of 1. So it does look like we're getting a little bit of hype coming out for this game, but not a whole bunch yet. So we're definitely just keep on moving along here. It looks like I need to manage. Not now. Looks like I do need to get us some cleaning guys. So I need to call cleaning. They can come in and clean up. Now I am kind of going pretty fast on this, just because there's no reason to really slow things down and whatnot. But I think everything's going to look out pretty well. Look at me just smashing on the keyboard. It's another day. Now something that I do need to do is I'm going to slow it down because I need to adjust the time that I come in and the time that I go home. So basically on this here you can make it to where you can work a max of 10 hours I believe. So that's at 8. Right now we're at 8 hours. Let's go until, I don't like to work past 5. We're gonna make it a 5 and then we're gonna come in at 7. Okay. So now it actually takes this day, he'll go home on his normal time that was set, and then tomorrow he'll start the new schedule. cleaning again. Definitely taking some time to do this. Looks like we're getting pretty close to actually getting the first stage almost done here. So it does look like we're in September. We're not doing bad for money because I'm not really having to take money away from the company. October. We're getting there. We're pretty close to almost being able to develop this. There we go. Getting a little tired of those little tutorial messages actually popping up. So now we're actually working towards the second stage of the 2D editor. Now something else that I've realized as well is that you can actually start playing these mini games. And basically what this does is it allows you to kind of speed up things, which as you can tell I'm not very good at. So definitely need to call in cleaning again. Uh-oh, we're getting a little short on money here. But we're getting there, because once he basically gets the design done, then he starts on the programming. And we're getting there, slowly but surely. So it does look like we're finally in January of 1981. Getting closer and closer and closer. So mainly in this game here, a lot of the things that are being developed and things, it actually just takes time to do what we need to do. So now it's ready, so we're going to promote it. Looks like tomorrow we're going to start working on the bugs. There we go. We're going to release it. And we're going to go ahead and keep marketing for it, and hopefully we'll get a pretty decent paycheck here. So it looks like we made $204,159. It looks like we do have a product So it looks like here we highly recommend Fuse Plus. Fuse Plus is beautiful and a piece of engineering, which is definitely a good thing that we do have that. So now what we're going to do, since we do have a 2D editor, I'm going to slow down time a little bit here. We're going to start developing our own audio tool. Okay. Now a few things that we definitely want to look at is all software. We want to look at what has been released lately, and for an audio tool, the last one was at retail price of $81. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this thing and we're going to want $60 for ours. Okay, now for our audio tool, we're going to go with Oddplexity. And then it's not going to be in-house. We don't have a server. Going to go ahead and add. Going to go ahead and add Tiger X5. Don't need a 2D editor, but we do have one. So then we're going to go ahead and start developing this. So, oh, there we go. And then now we have our outstanding. Now that we've pretty much got $1 million sitting in the bank, what we can do now is actually add this next 4. So let's go ahead and start developing this. Now we can actually spread things out a little bit, and let's speed up the time. So it definitely looks like we're in June. Something that I may do is, if we hit 2 million here within the next month, I'll actually start hiring another 2 people, so that way they can come in and actually help us do things. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the build done for it, just so that way we can have the room needed for these 2 other people. Now it does look like I need to start building outward, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Because this little 4x4 is not going to be enough. Now, what's going on here? That's not what I want, so we're going to go like this. Now we're going to make it an 8x8. Actually, I want to go something like this. 4. Let's make sure that we're doing this right. Like that, and that's 4, right? So now we're going to come back here. So we kind of want to keep our original design, just like so. Now something that I do like about the build tools on this game is that basically all you really have to do is move furniture, and then you can basically move anything that you want just by moving it. So now a few things that we're going to do here is that we're going to move furniture around to get things kind of situated here. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to have it to where we can have 3 people now. Well, actually we're going to have 4 people. Okay, so let me go ahead and set up these chairs. And I know what you guys are thinking, well, what about the the wall here. I'm not gonna be too worried about the wall because all I do is I collect everything and then I merge rooms just like so. Now something that I am going to do here is I'm going to go back to this build tool, because what I want to do is make sure that this matches with that. Okay, and now you guys are probably wondering what the heck is that, and what I'm going to do is, because I do like that aspect, is that we are going to put in a door like this. Okay, just for now. Now I definitely need to finish setting up computers and whatnot. There we go. Now something that I definitely want to do here is make sure that we do have AC units. That's a pretty big vent. What is that? It's industrial ventilation. That's not, definitely not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the smaller ones. Where are they? That's what I'm looking for. Not this. This is definitely what I'm looking for here. Okay, so that's going to be there with their nice little heaters like so. And then for lighting, now I know a lot of you guys are probably wondering, what am I going to do for lighting right now? And basically I'm going to add this to that. Okay, now a few things that I have to add in here, because they weren't added in before, are bathrooms. Okay, there's a bathroom. And there's a bathroom. Okay, and then basically what this is their lounge. Okay, and something that I want to do is add a double. So it's the door there, door there. So now for for this section here, I'm gonna add, do I want that? No, let's go ahead and sell this. I want not that. Let's see. I will do that. Go like this. Okay. And then of course I need, where is it? Water will be out there. But I need, where the heck is it here? I need a fridge, and for some reason I'm not seeing it. There's a fridge. Okay, so I'm gonna add 2 fridges there. So let's go ahead and do this. Need some lights. Light there. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a window there and a window there. Okay, now we need some toilets. So that, let's go ahead and add things like this. Make it happy for people. Now something that I wish that they would actually bring into the game is like sinks and stuff like that. so that way people can actually use the sinks to wash their hands. So there's that. So now something that I really want to check out is actually doing these little cubicles, like so. Wonder how that would work out. Just like so. Okay. And some things that I want to add out here, just to make it convenient for some of these guys and to spice up the room a little bit. I'm definitely going to add this for sure. I do want some plants, so that way it looks like I'm trying to take care of people a little bit. Now you guys are probably wondering by this time, what am I actually using to be able to place more items? Is I'm just holding down shift, and it's basically allowing me to place multiple items. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until I have these people hired, which I'm about to do here in a few minutes, and actually have it to where that when I have them sitting in the area that they need to be sitting at, I'm going to go ahead and place these person, we need a marketer. Okay, let's go ahead and get him specialized and everything. Got an amazing, but he doesn't do a very good job. So we're definitely gonna have to go with this person here. It's got a 63.88%. So we're gonna go ahead and hire him. Those guys aren't gonna come in until tomorrow. And once they do come in, we'll go ahead and set these people up with their seats and have everything set up. Let's pause. Let's go ahead and get this person actually assign the furniture being used by employee. Okay. We're going to assign this one. You are going to be assigned to that. Okay, let's go ahead and play this. Let's get this person into their chair. Let's pause it, because you're going to get assigned to that chair. There we go. Now this person here, let's look at their employment details. So this one here is our designer. Okay, so now that we have our designer set up and we know where she's going to be at, this right, pretty much what we're going to need to do is find what's going to be good for the designer. And it doesn't really look like anything here is really going to do. That's that. I think this will work pretty good for the designer. There you go. Now this person here is who? Is our artist, so they definitely get one of those. And then employee details, you're my marketer, so you get a telephone. And then for me, I get a calculator. Okay, so there's no lead now. We're all just basically working together to achieve one in particular goal, and that's to finish oddplexity. So let's go ahead and get that going. So it definitely looks like we are on a good fronting stat so far. Was very amazed to actually make 1.5 million within, you know, the first year or so. So we're definitely gonna have to keep drilling on and see if we can, I don't know, what do you guys think would be a really good endpoint? You know, having, you know, 1 billion, 2 billion, 10 billion. I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. Go ahead and leave that down in the comments for me. Let me know how long you think or what our goal should be. Now, having a godly number like 100 billion or things like that, I think that's going to take us a little long, but in the end result, it's up to you. You guys let me know what you think and we'll go from there. So this is definitely taking a little while, even with 4 people, to actually push out this amazing quality on an audio tool. Now, something else that I'm really looking forward to is that we are almost up to 2 million. Almost back up to 2 million total. So this is definitely something that's good. Now, something else I'm going to do right here is I'm going to hire some maintenance staff. Okay, so I want 1 cleaner, 1 maintenance, 1 IT. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hire those guys. They're going to come in from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and let's keep pushing on. So it definitely looks like we're getting pretty close to the end of the first stage of the designing phase of Oddplexity. So once that's ready, I'm going to go ahead and push it into development, so that way we can go ahead and get it set up and try to get this thing released. Hopefully maybe we'll have it done by May of 1982. So hopefully we can get it done. We're in 1982 January. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Almost. Oh man, looks like we're gonna be able to push it out in February. There we go. Gonna go ahead and develop it. So it does look like we are at 2 million. Just keep pushing along here. So now something else that I want to do here real fast is, because we're having to wait for them to arrive and take off from the bus, and I really don't want to wait on you guys. I want to make sure that they can get into the place that they need to get into without having any issues. So we're gonna go ahead and add that parking lot. If I didn't add the parking lot, just that it was. No, wrong thing. There we go. So now these guys will be able to show up to work. Hopefully fine, I believe. Yep. It's kind of nice because they all kind of ride in the same, you know, vehicle and whatnot. So that's really good. Carpooling is very, very key when it comes to games like this, I guess. So it definitely looks like the alpha stage is taking these guys a little long to get it pushed out. We did go past what I think would have been the latest that we would have been able to get things done, but we're still moving along. I'm gonna go ahead and end this there. Maybe that'll help out a little bit on the progress of the alpha phase. Just basically taking it, you know, knocking down a little bit of the task of what really needs to be happened. Does look like we did have all my employees basically go on vacation. So we're almost there, halfway through the alpha stage. Marketing was done for Oddplexity. Now it's time just to focus mainly on the alpha. Looks like we had 2 people call in sick today. I tell you, people calling in sick is not always a good thing. Ready to promote it. Now the beta is coming out. They're fixing. Let's release it. Of course, we're going to market it. And we're going to start. So look at that. We definitely made over $2 million just on that Oddplexity. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish out this day. And then I think that's going to pretty much wrap up the end of this episode here. If you guys liked it, go ahead and smash that like button, smash the subscribe button, leave me a comment down below. And until then guys, I'll see you on the flip side.